only reason RFK threw his name in the hat to begin with was to just take away votes from Biden. He knew he had no chance of winning, but what can I do to try to muck this up? And it was put myself in there, take some votes away, and that's it. He was never intending to actually try to defeat Trump in the election. He was always in cahoots with him. So with him dropping out and endorsing Trump is not a surprise.
Turn to the side, let me see. Damn, I think we all could agree. You and your friends, I'll count it 2 or 3. And you looking even better here with me. We don't need no dinner, you the no boo. Tell me where you're from, girl, is your local? Got a couple dollars we could go through. Take a couple trips, yeah, I can show you. Jump in my Impala, get the backseat going. We just let the top down, getting top now, hold it.
The song you just heard is my new joint. It's called Blow a Bag. Be sure to listen to it on all streaming platforms. Look it up, Holliewood, Blow a Bag. Add it to your playlist. If you like what you heard, we're going to get ready to get into what's hot in these blogs. First things first, the DNC happened this week, and it was one of the most electrifying Democratic National Conventions I've ever seen. It was a lot of moments. It was like a party. It was like a pep rally. The excitement in the room was lit. Like this roll call that they do every DNC, but this one was a little different. They had DJ Cassidy, and the way he turned that room up and going down the line, it was just excitement. And when it came time for Georgia to do their part in the roll call, they had Lil Jon come out with Turn Down for What. It was lit. It was lit. You had so many like dope moments that happened throughout the DNC. Some highlights for me was Michelle Obama's speech. She knocked it out the park. And it seemed like with everybody who was speaking, it was just like this energy in the room that I feel like we haven't had that type of energy in a while. Like the last time I feel like it was this much excitement about a presidential candidate was probably Obama, when Obama was running, and that excitement that was going on then. I feel like this is along those lines. It may even be a little more excitement right now for Kamala Harris. And the way this DNC was showing out, you just feel that you felt the energy through the TV. It reeked of like hope and possibilities, and just looking around the room, it was a reflection of what America looks like. Even at one point, they had the band playing Shaka Khan's Tell Me Something Good. That was one of the standout moments for me. While the band is playing this song, they're panning through to the crowd. And as people seeing themselves on the screen, they're just like, acting out how you do when you see yourself on a Jumbotron. And just seeing that moment, showing the different people and just everybody having a good old time, it was dope to see. Dope to see. Stark difference from the RNC when you seen any of that. And it definitely made you proud to be representing the Democratic Party, for sure. And if you weren't, you were probably salty, and you were probably writing and rambling on your Truth social platform, going into tangents. And even if you were a supporter of that other candidate, you were in your feelings, for sure. But you can't fake energy. You can't fake momentum, and don't be mad. Don't be mad. But the DNC was super lit. 4 days. Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton. A lot of the heavy hitters from the political space, past presidents and all of that, came through in support of Kamala Harris. That's also something else that didn't happen at the RNC. I don't think there was any former presidents that endorsed this man, but he had Hulk Hogan, I guess, if that's a win for you. But yeah, that says a lot though, doesn't it? That there were no former presidents that endorsed that side. even Republican presidents. So let that speak to the moment of what was exactly happening and the differences between the two candidates. Fast shouts to Kamala Harris. There was also this rumor that started with, I'm not even sure who started it, but I know TMZ posted it and posted it as in such a way that they knew exactly that Beyonce was going to be performing at the DNC on the final night. They said that she was seen rehearsing and all of this, and now all these other blogs is picking this up. Per TMZ, Beyonce is going to be there. And it was even a whole section in the DNC of Beyonce fans. They had the cowboy hats, they had the cowboy Carter sashes, and waiting for Beyonce. And then one of her people released a statement that Beyonce ain't here, Beyonce ain't there, she was never scheduled to be there. We don't know where this story came from. But yeah, TMZ got it wrong. I don't know. And it's funny because TMZ, like early on when they first started, they used to be on it, right? Like if TMZ reporting it, it gotta be facts. They have hands everywhere. It feels like eyes and ears everywhere. There's sources, no matter what. If you're having a baby, if you got married, if you're filing for divorce, whatever it is, anything you're trying to do, no matter how secret you're trying to make it, somebody ends up leaking it to TMZ. And that was the source. Lately, though, they've been posting some things that turned out not to be true. This wasn't the first time. So I don't know if they're just losing their oomph or if they just are trying to go viral, like a lot of blogs be doing these days, and just like posting stuff without actually like fact checking it or something. Like something's changing over there. But yeah, that happened. But even without Beyonce, it still was an epic 4 days. This was probably the first DNC that I literally watched every day from start to finish. Usually I'm in and out, I'm catching like glimpse and stuff or just like highlights. I literally watched all 4 days and it was worth it. It was worth seeing. It was electrifying, and I'm hopeful that this energy continues. We're such a short time away from the election. I feel it will continue, but it was definitely enough to excite people to get out and get to them polls, and even to encourage their friends and knock on doors, maybe even, or just like try to bring people along with them. So yeah, fast shouts to the DNC, and let's go Kamala. Let's move on. What else is hot in these blogs? RFK, Robert Kennedy Jr., has dropped out of his running for president and decided to endorse Trump. Also, the sky is blue on clear days. Also, water is wet. So obvious. It wasn't a surprise to me that this happened. RFK, from what I was able to see, always was in bed with Trump. Since this video posted a couple months ago that showed him on a phone call with Trump, and Trump saying, "Yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna do this, da da da." And it's like clearly they're in cahoots. I feel like the only reason RFK threw his name in the hat to begin with was to just take away votes from Biden. He knew he had no chance of winning, but what can I do to try to muck this up? And it was put myself in there, take some votes away, and that's it. He was never intending to actually try to defeat Trump in the election. He was always in cahoots with him. So with him dropping out and endorsing Trump is not a surprise to me at all. His family actually called him out on it. And the statement said, "We want America filled with hope and bound together by a shared vision of a brighter future, a future defined by individual freedom, economic promise, and national pride. We believe in Harris and Walz. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It is a sad ending to a sad story." and it signed Kathleen Kennedy Townsend, Courtney Kennedy, Kerry Kennedy, Chris Kennedy, and Rory Kennedy. They don't want no parts, and you are making them look bad. I concur. And if your pops was here, he'd probably slap you upside your head right now. Nah. But yeah, it was no surprise. I don't know. Was it surprising to y'all that he has endorsed Trump with dropping out? Let me know. But yeah, we're going to move on to what else is hot in these blogs. NASA, there's some astronauts, 2 astronauts that has been stuck in space for about 2 months, I think. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been seeing little posts about people would say stuff like, so no one's going to talk about the astronauts that's stuck in space. And I would see these posts and I would just keep scrolling because like, I didn't care, I guess. But yeah, they are actually up there. Initially, it was supposed to only be a 8-day mission. They were supposed to be up there and come back down, but apparently on the way up, their Boeing spacecraft started experiencing complications with the thrusters, and there was reported leaks of helium. Once it docked, they felt that it would be not the safest thing to use the same spacecraft to bring them back to Earth because they don't know what exactly could happen. And with that, they have been up there. They've been up there since early June. Their names are Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams. NASA has come up with a game plan to get them back down, but it won't be until February of next year when they send another shuttle up to space. They're going to leave 2 seats open so that they can bring them back. I don't know what they're going to do in all of that time, but these 2 people are going to stay up there for a couple more months. Talking about holidays, like, I wonder how they feel about being stuck up there. Like, what are you going to do for all this time? And you go up there with the intentions of only being up there for 8 days. And now here we are, like 2 months passed, and you got to remain up there for another 3 or so months. Is there enough food? Like, y'all just got like enough supplies and everything to be good? These are questions I have. How do they feel about this? Because despite everything I've been reading, I haven't heard anything from them. Can we get like a Zoom call or something? Can we see how they feel? Are they suffering up there? Are they good? Like, questions I have. Like I said, hopefully they're good. They have a way home now, but they just got to wait it out a little bit. I'm sure the families are probably like feeling away, you know? But I guess safety first. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. Let's move on. What else is hot in these blogs? John Lewis. They have erected this new statue in honor of John Lewis. It's a 12-foot tall statue depicting him in this gesture symbolizing love. He has like his hands like on his chest. It was created by sculptor Basil Watson, and it's replacing this Confederate monument that was once there. That's a W in and of itself. John Lewis was a pivotal figure in American civil rights history. I'm gonna run down some of the things that John Lewis has done, his contributions to the fight for racial equality and social justice in the United States. Regarding civil rights activism, John Lewis was a leader in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, where he helped organize and participate in numerous protests and initiatives aimed at ending segregation and securing voting rights for African Americans. The March on Washington, this historic march that we all know that happened in 1963, is the same march where MLK delivered his epic, iconic I Have a Dream speech. John Lewis was one of the youngest speakers at that march. Also, the Selma to Montgomery marches in 1965. John Lewis activism contributed to the passage of the Voting Rights Act, which prohibited racial discrimination in voting and was a landmark achievement in the civil rights movement. In his political career, John Lewis served as the U.S. Congressman for Georgia's 5th Congressional District for about 30 years, from 1987 until he died in 2020. He continued to advocate for civil rights, social justice, and equality through his legislative work, focusing on issues such as healthcare, education, and you guessed it, voting rights. So now you can really do your part in honoring him and getting out to vote. Early voting is even going to be happening in a lot of states. So check to see if your state offers early voting and take advantage of it. I'm a proponent of early voting actually at a location versus mail-in ballots. If you can help it, I wouldn't trust personally mail-in ballots, just because people are crazy, right? So they could be trying to damage these boxes. They could be trying to like take stuff out of the boxes. You can't even trust that your thing is going to be counted even. So actually at the poll, at the machine, that's what I'm about. So fast shouts to John Lewis. He was definitely beloved. He was a staple. And to see him not only get this honor in this statue, but to see it replace a Confederate monument is dope. So if you're ever in Georgia, you can go check this out. Let's move on. Last but not least, switching gears, and music was hot in these blogs, music and entertainment news. J-Lo has filed for divorce from Ben Affleck after about 2 years. 2 years. They spent the block to get back together. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it doesn't work. I know it's low-key like a bummer, right? When you're a celebrity, you're a public figure, especially being someone like J-Lo, who people already associate with like being married X amount of times and just like, always like in relationships and stuff. This is how the public perceive her. So to do it again 20 years later, and the momentum behind it felt right. J-Lo did a whole album about their rekindling of their relationship, a whole album and documentary and all of this, and songs dedicated to him. So I know it gotta suck that it just apparently hasn't worked out. There's no details specifically as to why it hasn't worked out. There's only rumors out there, but with this comes some complications, because it's being reported that they had no prenuptial agreement in place when they got married. So there's some things that's at stake. Anything that happened during their 2 years of marriage will more than likely be split, according to some experts. So it's like her album that she put out then, I think she put out a film during that time. She has like a spirits liquor brand that she released, I believe, last year. So that could be up for grabs to be split. There's a divorce attorney who isn't connected to the case who weighed in on it. And they said they've been together for 2 years, and whatever they have earned during those 2 years is community property, which means that it will be equally divided if they earn anything. Separate property, by definition in California, is whatever each party owns individually from before the marriage and after the separation. And it also includes any gifts or inheritance. It sucks though, right? Like, wish J-Lo the best. I don't know, when something like this happens, I would probably just want to stay single for a little while. Like, I'm not doing no more public relationships at all, ever again. Count me out. I like J-Lo. I've met her before, and she's a dope person. She has a dope heart from what I can see. And I don't know, love just not in the cards. Maybe love should cost a thing. Nah, it's just not in the cards. But J-Lo's J-Lo. She'll be all right. I believe She'll be all right. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I think that's gonna conclude what's hot in his blogs. Appreciate you for listening. However you're listening, we're gonna get ready to wrap this thing on up. Thank you for watching. If you rock with your boy, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, it's called Holliewood and Friends, which means I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the topics I just discussed. I appreciate you. New episodes every Monday night. Until next time, deuces.